For 2025, Toyota has dropped this. This is the Tundra TRD Rally. So it's a rally package for 2025. The cost for this package is $8,660. What I want to know is, what exactly is this package? Because this is essentially a Tundra SR5 with some of the TRD Off Road pieces and features added to it. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this is. And of course, you do get these heritage stickers on the side, on the front, on the side, and also on the rear. So let's jump in and have a look at what this 2025 Toyota Tundra TRD Rally is all about. In case you missed it, my 11-hour online class in design sketching is now only $47. If you have any desire to pick up the skill of sketching products using simple tools such as a big pen and cheap print paper, this is something you want to check out. Over the years, I've taught thousands of students from all around the world how to sketch cars and products, and most of them have seen amazing results from my classes. Analog Designer Pro Pack is the full bundle of all my classes I've released over the years, and it's yours for just $47. Check out everything that's included and see what my students have to say in the link in the description, or simply visit analogdesignerpropack.com. As always, let's start with checking out what's under the hood of this 2025 Toyota Tundra TRD Rally. You have an iForce 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 putting out 389 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to a 10-speed automatic. Of course, you got 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, 4-wheel auto as well. I do believe I have 4-wheel auto in this. We're going to have a look at that in a minute. 0 to 60, 6.1 seconds. Towing comes in at 11,000 pounds. Fuel economy, 17 city, 22 highway. And the price for this is $62,442. Now, you have to keep in mind that it is basically an SR5 with some TRD Off-Road parts on it, and that is the TRD Rally. The ground clearance still standard 9.3 inches of ground clearance like you have in pretty much every single Tundra. You also have a 5.5 foot bed in this one. Now let me know what you think about these stickers here. I'm not so sure I like these because they are actually just stickers on the front end, and it comes back in the side as well. As I said, if I want to have some heritage graphics on this, I would want to have much bigger graphics. Maybe something going from the front fender across the entire side into the rear, or something like that that has the same color as those, the heritage stuff down there. This just a small little splash down there. It doesn't feel like it flows naturally with anything else in the interior, and also, or the exterior. And I also think that the hood, just look how shallow this hood opens. It's very interesting to see that. You can barely, just reach over here and see, if you don't want to hit your head. You're gonna hit your head pretty fast because of the shallowness of the grill opening now, or the hood opening. Now look at the front end, typical Toyota front end. Thankfully for this trim, we still have the fog lights down here. Now this being the TRD Rally with the Heritage Edition, I want to see the Heritage, Toyota letters spelled out here instead of the big chrome logo in the middle. We have the front mounted camera right there, Tundra spelled out in the lower section. And overall, I really like the Toyota Tundra front end graphics. The thing about the Tundra though, I really think it needs chunkier tires and also leveling kit. I say that with every single truck, I know. But specifically for the big volumes and the big graphics that we have in the front end and also the rear, this chiseledness, it just needs to sit leveled and also have 35s on it. Do like the ridges up here that we have, and not so sure about this color though. If I want to have a heritage style or a TRD Rally, I want to have it be a shout, maybe an orange or something like that. I think that would look much better for this specific Rally edition. But the thing about this, you still get the skid plates underneath, which is a part of the Rally package, the $8,860 package. These are also functional. You have not LED indicators, this being based on the SR5 for $62,000. I would want to see full LED headlight unit, but that's not what you get for the Rally trim for 2025, unfortunately. Now coming on to the side view, we do have, you can see the styling or the stickers coming back here. We have them inside the wheels, for example, these 18-inch wheels. These are, let's see the size of these. We have 265/70R 18s. Brand new wheels for the Rally. You have the Heritage graphics, I guess, stickers in the middle section there. Sort of a beadlock fake design here. I would much rather see some chunkier tire profile here as well. These look more like road tires than off-road tires. This being the Rally, the Baja inspired version, definitely want to see some, so just overall beefier setup for the wheels and tires. I don't think they fill out the wheelhouses nicely. I definitely want to switch those out if I were to get this truck. Now, coming around to the styling, we have the typical Tundra styling, very chiseled, very carved out portions in all the graphics here, as you can see. I do like that everything is blacked out. We have the blacked out A-pillar here, blacked out arm for the side mirrors. You do have LED indicators here though in the side mirrors, something that I just want to see LED indicators in pretty much every single car for 2025. It's time to update to everything to LED, in my opinion. Specifically, if you're paying, I mean, $62,000 for a truck, just put LED headlights and indicators in the front end there. Now, coming around to the rear end, I'm not sure if there's anything else to talk about here in the side view. Wheels and tire setups, as I said, want to have much beefier, chunkier tires for sure. Different wheels as well, and just you have a different offset so they sit more nicely and just plant this truck on the ground properly. Now, you do have the power assisted tailgate back here, 5.5 foot bed, standard bed with the crew cab situation that we have, of course, for this Tundra. You have some LEDs down there. You have a 12 volt outlet right there, house outlet. And that's pretty much it. Some tie downs, not really a spray. I mean, you just have some cover here, not a spray in bed liner, but it's pretty rugged and sturdy, this plastic that we have here. You have Tundra spelled out here, looking nice. So let's fold this back up by just pressing that button and up it goes. You have actually the LED reverse lights down here, which is nice to see. And in the back, you actually do have LEDs in the back here, but we don't have LEDs in the front. That's something I'm always so annoyed by when I see that, when we have LEDs in the back, but why not just put it in the front end as well? You have the TRD Off Road, you have the TRD dual exhaust pipes, part of the Rally package. Great to see that. And overall, I mean, everybody's seen a Tundra these days. The design is starting to look pretty familiar out on the roads these days, but this is probably a trim that I would consider, because we have the analog cluster in the interior, and I actually think it looks very refreshing to have the analog cluster in the interior. And overall, you do just have black and gray colors for the TRD Rally, which I think is a mistake by Toyota. I definitely want to have it be more shouty. But if I were to buy this, I would definitely just switch out the wheels and tires. And I still have the TRD Off Road suspension, the Bilstein suspension, the 9.3 inches of ground clearance, which, of course, if you level it, it's going to be a little higher than that. And I think I would have a pretty nice Toyota Tundra if I just switched out the wheels and tire setup at, with these things right here, just to make it look a little better. With that said, let's jump in and have a look at this interior. Now, it's not just the suspension and the exhaust system that you get from the TRD Off Road. You also get the hill descent control, you get crawl mode, you get the multi-terrain select as well, something you don't really have in the SR5, and that is part of this $8,860 option that is the Rally package. And since it's based on an SR5, you still have the analog cluster, which I actually prefer over the digital one. This just looks, I don't know, I always prefer analog over digital in 90% of the cases, and this being one of them right here. Even though we still have the big, of course, 14-inch infotainment screen, but in this case, for the Tundra being a big truck like this, it doesn't really feel like it's out of place with a 14-inch infotainment screen. And you know, the system that we have here for Toyota is pretty standard stuff these days. They all have the same system inside here. Wireless Apple CarPlay, you have the map here as well, pretty responsive. And you don't have a head-up display, something that I don't really feel ever that I need for any type of vehicle, so I'm glad to see that that's not here. And on top of that, you don't have a sunroof either, something that I also don't mind. I actually prefer it to not have a sunroof. So if I think about what this Rally is all about, it's about the SR5 base spec with some off-road capability from the TRD Off Road package. And we don't have a sunroof, we don't have a head-up display, we still have the analog cluster. So to me, this is a pretty interesting spec from Toyota for the Tundra if I were to buy a Tundra today. Love that we still have all the buttons and toggles here, rugged buttons and toggles for the climate settings. Heated seats, you don't have ventilated seats in this one. You have the volume knob right there, very sturdy, rugged looking volume knob. Traction control on and off. You can press the camera buttons. You do have the full 360 camera here, looking great. You can also, of course, put it into reverse, pop up the reverse camera, and you can check out all the camera settings that we have. Great camera settings, of course, as always from Toyota. When you have the full 360 view, you can see exactly where the wheels are positioned, for example. Top view right here with trajectory lines. And we have the rear locker. We have two-wheel high, four-wheel low. You don't actually have four-wheel auto in this case. You have either, these three settings. Drive modes, let's check out all the drive modes that we have here. We have Eco, Normal, and Sport. However, you also have Multi-Terrain Select. You can press this right here. We have Deep Snow, Mud, Sand, and Dirt for the Multi-Terrain Select. You also have the Crawl Control right there and Tow Haul settings. So let's go back into two-wheel high and put into the regular normal drive mode right there. We have two cup holders. We don't have a wireless phone charger, which is something that I probably want to have for $62,000. Definitely just throw in a phone charger here. I don't think that's too big of a deal. You do have the TRD gear selector, TRD steering wheel here as well. And I do like the stitching that we have going on here. And also the seats. If you look at the seats, you can see the heritage styling behind just if you look at it from a straight front view, you can see the lines in here. I think it looks pretty cool. In addition to this very nice stitching that we have, orange and yellow stitching, again going back to the sticker colors that we have over there. Now you have a lot of storage here. You can have this tray, for example. You can open this whole thing up. A couple of USB ports right there and an LED in this area, and that is pretty much it for the storage. Slide this forward if you want to. I always thought that I wanted to have this covered with some armrests because my elbow is sort of sliding off here all the time when I'm driving it. It's just a small detail. Now looking at the seats, looking pretty, I mean, as we just talked about, I like the styling of the seats, and also the bolstering is pretty decent, and of course the stitching looks beautiful. I just want to see the same stitching on the inside of the steering wheel here, but unfortunately we don't get that in this case. Now looking at the steering wheel itself, TRD steering wheel, of course, cruise control settings right here. You can toggle between some of the information with this very small screen that we have in the middle, which is totally fine for me. I think it's I just think it looks so nice to have an analog cluster in a 2025 model year. I'm a fan of this layout. I don't mind the small little screen in the middle. I don't need more information than that, honestly. You have the volume buttons here and the voice command there as well. Indicators on the left side, and you have the washer stock right there on the right side. A couple more buttons here. Heated steering wheel, for example, and on and off at red lights, shut off the engine, that stuff, automatic high beams. And let me know what you think again about these stickers that we have going on. This gloss black and then the heritage stickers right there. It says Tundra in the lower section. On the inside, I think this is enough. You don't need more stickers than that. But on the outside, I just want to have like a massive vinyl going across the entire length of the vehicle with that type of graphics. I think that would look a lot cooler, specifically since you only can get this in, you can get this in two shades of gray. You can get it in black or white. You can't get it in any other like bright colors, which is a shame. Now jumping into the back seat, nice stitching here again. We have the same stitching before and the same lines in the middle section, looking beautiful. So let's jump in here. Space is not a problem whatsoever. Massive leg space, massive head space as well. And this window, as you know, goes all the way down. If you want to vent back here, you just use that button that's up top on the right there next to the LED light, in addition to a regular house outlet right there. And if you fold down the center armrest, you're going to find yourself, of course, two cup holders right there. All right, guys, let's take the 2025 Toyota Tundra TRD Rally for a drive, and let's see what this is all about. Nice little donut there. Turn the traction control off. Great to see that the traction control is actually off when you're turning it off. Love to see that. So you got the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 under the hood. This is not the hybrid. You can't get it with the hybrid if you want to. I just don't feel the need for it. This has plenty of power in this one. 300 and 79 horsepower, I do believe, something like that. 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. It feels super smooth again with these wheels and tire setup that we have. It's pretty, I mean, relatively small 18-inch tires. I'm not sure about this package though. It feels like it's a pretty lazy way, in my opinion, from Toyota to just, you know, create a new package calling it the TRD Rally by just essentially taking the SR5 and then adding some pieces from the TRD Off Road onto it. Suspension, exhaust pipe, you have the skid plates, you have the multi-terrain select, crawl mode, all of that. Over $8,500, which sounds like a lot to me. Sounds like a little steep maybe. Not sure if I would go with a TRD Off Road straight away, or just buy myself an SR5 and just mod it exactly like I wanted to. Because I think if you buy an SR5, Tundra SR5, and you change just the suspension, wheel and tire setup, maybe do a little bit of the some styling on the exterior, for example, I think it would still be below $8,600. So that's an option to think about. If you want to modify your own SR5, you can do that for probably cheaper and get almost the same results when it comes to off-road capabilities as this one, if not better. If you just figure out exactly what it is you want to have on your SR5 yourself. But the ride quality is great. I mean, ride comfort is fantastic. We're gonna do 0 to 60 up here and just see what the if the traction can actually put down the power. I'm gonna turn the traction control back on, obviously. Now let's see. It doesn't say anything if it's on or off, so I have no idea of knowing whether it's on or off. Very interesting to see that. Let's just assume that it's going to be on up here. Alrighty, there's nobody behind me, no one in front of me. It's gonna be a little bit of an uphill here. But let's come to a complete stop before we get any traffic behind us. Looks pretty cool right now. And let's floor it, let's go. 40, 50, and we're up to 60. So it is a quick truck, it's not slow. Even though it's not the hybrid iForce Max, this being the iForce, just twin turbo version, this has enough power for me to definitely, for everyday driving. I don't feel like I need more power than this. And let's try a different drive modes here. We weren't even in sport, but I don't know what sport does. Probably just holds the gear a little longer. Something like that. The drives are great. The quality, the ride comfort is fantastic, but I wouldn't expect anything else. I mean, this is a full-size truck for $62,000. You would not expect it to be an uncomfortable ride. Everybody's hiking up that dinosaur ridge back there. Used to run up and down there. Great running spot, because you go up for like 15 minutes and then down on the other side the exact same distance that you went up, and then you go back the exact same way. So it's a sort of high interval training. All right, so let's step on it here, coming onto the freeway. Yeah, it pulls. I mean, if you want the hybrid, you can get the hybrid. I think that's going to add probably some weight to the truck overall. Now you are going to get a little bit more power. But for me, I would probably stay with this one, the non-hybrid. I would probably, if I were to buy a Tundra today, I would most likely just buy a base SR5, even though I don't get the LEDs in the front end, which is the most annoying. That is the only thing that I can think of that would make me not consider the SR5, because it's a 2025 Tundra. I want to have LEDs in the front end. I don't think that's too much to ask, even though we go with a base spec. But I would probably go with the SR5 and spend maybe, I don't know, $5-6 grand on upgrades to have it look exactly like I want it to look, with the wheel and tire setup and leveling kit and so on. And that would probably be my preferred Tundra for 2025. But this one is a good option if you still want the base truck but add a splash more off-road capabilities. Then you might want to have a look at the TRD Rally. Thank you so much for watching. and I'll see you in the next video.